In 2025, the skies will never be the same as the SR-72 Darkstar, once considered a futuristic dream, becomes a reality. The SR-72 is more than just an aircraft the U.S. Air Force and top aerospace engineers built in secret. It's the future of hypersonic technology, poised to change the game in speed, stealth, and warfare. What new capabilities could this craft unlock for military operations? How will it reshape the way people think about aerial defense and offense? Join us as we reveal the real SR-72 Darkstar, which is finally ready for deployment in 25. When the SR-71 Blackbird was retired by the United States Air Force in 1998, they faced a significant problem. The Blackbird was unmatched in its role for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and with its retirement, the U.S. military lost its go-to aircraft for these critical missions. They needed something even more advanced to fill this gap, a worthy successor. The SR-72 is often called the son of the Blackbird. The SR-72 first came into the spotlight in 2007 when rumors began circulating that Lockheed Martin was working on a new superfast aircraft to take over from the retired SR-71. According to these reports, this next-generation plane was designed to reach mind-boggling speeds exceeding Mach 6, over 6,400 km. That's more than double the speed of the SR-71. This would make the SR-72 not just a replacement, but an upgrade with jaw-dropping capabilities. Though many details were kept under wraps, reports suggested that this high-tech aircraft was tailored to the U.S. Air Force's needs. However, despite all the speculation, official information remains scarce. Some leaked concept art and tidbits of information surfaced over time, fueling the curiosity around this mysterious project. Yet the U.S. Air Force kept quiet on whether they were even working with Lockheed Martin on the SR-72. In 2013, a bombshell report emerged, stating that the U.S. had decided not to fund the SR-72 program. This left many people scratching their heads, unsure whether the Air Force had officially greenlit the development of a prototype or not. This new technology is poised to completely change the game. Much like how stealth tech transformed modern warfare, a high-speed aircraft that uses an engine so advanced it's almost like having 2 or even 3 jet engines rolled into one. According to experts like Leland, the propulsion system starts with a standard turbojet engine, similar to what we see in fighter jets like the Pratt & Whitney F-100 or General Electric F-110. This initial engine helps the aircraft take off and reach speeds comparable to those of today's regular fighter jets. Once the aircraft hits Mach 3, the engine has a secret weapon. The second part of the propulsion system kicks in, giving the aircraft a huge speed boost. The second phase involves a dual-mode ramjet engine, which uses superfast air from the aircraft's supersonic speeds channeled through a special inlet design. This process generates shock waves that compress the air and boost performance. This could allow the aircraft to smash through the top speed of the legendary SR-71 Blackbird, which maxes out at Mach 3.2, and potentially push past hypersonic speeds. The engine used in the SR-72 is a turbine-based combined cycle engine, a super high-tech piece of equipment. While Lockheed Martin was responsible for designing the aircraft itself, the engine was developed by Aerojet Rocketdyne. This aircraft was built to be a game-changer. It's designed to fly at speeds over Mach 6. It was originally intended for 2 main purposes: to gather intelligence through surveillance and reconnaissance, and to carry weapons for striking enemy targets on the ground. Back in May 2015, Lockheed Martin's plan for the SR-72 was to use it for both spying and attacking. They hadn't quite figured out what types of weapons or equipment the jet would carry, known as payloads. And that's probably because designing these payloads is a whole different challenge when engineers are dealing with a jet that's going faster than any fighter plane and flying at an altitude of 880,000 feet. At those high speeds and altitudes, regular weapons and sensors just wouldn't work. They'd need to invent entirely new tech that could keep up with the SR-72's speed and high-flying abilities. The existing tools simply aren't built for something this extreme. So to make the SR-72 a success, they would have to develop new types of sensors and weapons that could handle the jet's mind-blowing performance. The SR-72 is designed to push the boundaries of what's possible in aviation, a plane that can fly faster than a missile and higher than most satellites. But for it to be effective in its spy and strike missions, it's clear that everything from its weapons to its surveillance systems needs to be completely rethought. Leland explained that this new hypersonic aircraft isn't just fast, it's a game changer. While it could launch hypersonic missiles, it's more likely to carry cheaper weapons specifically designed to work at these incredible speeds. Hypersonic missiles being developed in the US are cutting edge and come in different shapes and designs, but they're way more expensive than regular weapons. That's because flying at such extreme speeds creates a lot of pressure and heat, which makes it tricky to release or launch weapons. Lockheed Martin already proved this with the YF-12, a combat version of the legendary SR-71. The YF-12 managed to fire air-to-air missiles while flying at speeds over Mach 3. The new SR-72, nicknamed the son of Blackbird, takes things to the next level. Its top speed is expected to reach Mach 6, allowing it to zoom across continents in just hours. What makes the SR-72 special, though, isn't just its speed or firepower. It's its ability to gather intelligence quickly from anywhere on Earth. This is crucial, especially in areas like the Pacific Ocean, where conflicts could stretch over thousands of miles. Someone might think satellites have global surveillance covered, but they don't. For one, there aren't enough satellites to monitor every spot on Earth all the time. Plus, since satellite orbits are predictable, adversaries can easily figure out when to hide sensitive activities. That's why the demand for spy planes has skyrocketed. People have seen innovations like the MQ-1 Predator drone, which changed the game for surveillance, and even more advanced secretive models like the Northrop Grumman RQ-180, which reportedly operates at high altitudes and remains stealthy while gathering critical information. Even though a lot of money goes into building advanced spy planes, most of them still fly pretty slowly compared to what people might expect. They operate at subsonic speeds, meaning they can't break the sound barrier. This makes getting critical information quickly a bit tricky. It all depends on where the plane is and whether it's ready to take off when needed. Take the MQ-9 Raper as an example. It's a reliable drone that can stay airborne for over 24 hours, but it cruises at just 230 mph. At that speed, it would take a little over an hour to fly from New York to Boston. If someone is talking about a cross-country trip, like from New York to Los Angeles, you're looking at more than 10 hours in the air. Not exactly speedy when time is of the essence. If a hypersonic aircraft could hit Mach 6, such a plane could travel from New York to Boston in under 5 minutes. And if someone is flying coast to coast, that trip would shrink to just about 30 minutes. Rob Weiss, the executive vice president of Skunk Works at Lockheed Martin, the team behind some of the most futuristic aviation projects, recently announced a breakthrough. They've successfully tested a turbine-based hypersonic engine for their SR-72, also known as the son of Blackbird. In an exciting development, the SR-72 team was busy preparing to test a special version of the aircraft designed for flight research. This test model, about the same size as the F-22 Raptor, had a bold goal: to prove how it could take off like a regular jet using a conventional engine, then ramp up to supersonic speeds, and finally switch to a scramjet engine to reach mind-blowing speeds over Mach 6, way faster than anything ever seen before.
These next-generation technologies are not just engineering marvels. They are symbols of a new era in air dominance. With the SR-72 preparing to shatter speed records and the NGA fighter emerging as the most advanced combat aircraft ever conceived, the world stands on the brink of a military revolution unlike anything witnessed before. Enemy defenses designed for yesterday's threats won't stand a chance against jets that are too fast to track, too stealthy to detect, and too intelligent to outmaneuver. Whether for reconnaissance, precision strikes, or rapid deployment across the globe, the fusion of hypersonic propulsion, artificial intelligence, next-gen materials, and autonomous capabilities signals a future where wars could be won before they even begin. But as these machines push the limits of physics, they also raise one critical question. Who will control the skies when speed becomes absolute and technology outruns human reaction time? Will pilots remain in the cockpit, or will drones take their place entirely? As the United States doubles down on hypersonic supremacy, one thing is certain. Any nation that fails to keep up will be left in the dust, quite literally, at Mach 6. The countdown has already begun. The age of subsonic warfare is over. The race for hypersonic dominance is here, and only the boldest will survive it.